since we went and saw Paranormal Activity.
Oh damn! That was the last time that you jumped in a movie.
No, it's the last time. I mean, honestly, it's the only movie that's ever made me feel that way.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I told you I cried.
I remember.
That shit was too much for a nigga to handle.
My hands were gripping the shit out of the seats in there. I remembered.
Yeah,
that movie had me on the edge.
Yeah, it was. Nah, that shit was different.
But it was the first of its kind.
Well, it wasn't. But it was the first at that level.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Blair Witch Project, I think people talked about it like that, but it wasn't that.
I mean,
it wasn't that, bro.
The first Paranormal Activity is a top 3 scary movie for me. Like, I've never felt like that in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, that movie just captivated the shit out of me.
Yeah. Like, I feel you. No, it was good. That shit. You just sit in there, and they'd have that one camera set on the bed, and it would just sit there and just time lapse throughout the whole night. And you would just sit there just waiting for something. Like that. Yeah, that's what they did to you.
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh, I feel like as animals, like they got the instinct out of all of us.
Yeah,
like
and see, the thing is, you know, not every night. Something didn't happen every night.
Right.
So you're anticipating
or some like the smallest thing would happen. Like, so you're sitting there and you're trying to sense you're trying to look around the whole room.
Yeah.
And it would like, maybe the door might just be like, like something small would happen, like a tissue would fall off. You'd be like, where'd that tissue fall? Yeah, nah, that shit was definitely different. Bro, but that scene, but it was the scene because when the Paranormal Activity started happening, that's when like the bass would start like, and just start doing that.
Hey, they did it with the sound effects.
Bruh. And when she got yanked out the bed by her fucking leg and brought out the room, and the dude got up and tried to run after her, but the door shut.
Oh my god!
That's when it happened. That's when the tear fell. I was like, oh my god, this shit is different.
And like a lot of
that was different.
Welcome to the Any Last Words Pod. My name is Keion, aka Almighty the DJ.
And my name is Earl Lonnie Hooks. A very special thanks to everybody that will be joining us today on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, as well as YouTube. Please do not forget to follow us at ALW Pod on Instagram. The God in me, honest to God, in each and every one.
You like how I just went straight in?
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes you got to do it, right? Because we just sitting here talking about Paranormal Activity and Batman. Like, we might as well just get into it.
I ain't even give you a one.
No, maybe you're getting into it. Maybe it took 108 episodes, but maybe you're finally podcasting.
Maybe. Nah, we just talking about movies and shit. I just went to see the new Batman. I do recommend it.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. The only complaints I've seen about it is the fact that it's 3 hours, but that didn't bother me.
The only movie, I was telling Dude this the other day, the only movie, I'm trying to think of just super long movies. I went to go see one of them damn Lord of the Rings movies way back in the day. And I think that was the only movie I ever went in where there was an intermission.
Intermission?
Yeah, where they gave you 20 minutes to go to the bathroom. Like, they cut the movie off.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like in the middle bro, that movie was like 4 fucking hours or something.
I mean, I guess I didn't see I've seen all the Lord of the Rings. I didn't see them in theaters, I don't think.
I forget which one. It may be the last one when he finds the dragon. I don't even know which one I'm talking about anymore.
It's called, Desolation of Smaug.
Wow. Yes. That.
Is that Lord of the Rings or is that The Hobbit? I don't even remember.
Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Because the one with the big dragon and the castle with all the gold.
Yeah,
I think that might be The Hobbit.
Okay, well, that's not what I'm talking about. Because I was a child when I saw this movie. And I was in there and it was just, it was.
The ending of that movie was hard as shit.
I forget that. That's when the dragon took off and was like, watch this.
Yeah. And just burnt the town down. That nigga went hard. The dragon went hard. Smaug went hard.
Yeah. And that was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch?
Yeah, that's his name, right? Yeah.
Oh, he played the
voice? Yeah. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's what's up.
Sherlock Holmes from the BBC series, also Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I like Doctor Strange. Like, that's my dude. Out of
really?
all of them niggas, all of them Civil
the next
War
one comes
Marvel
out
people.
in May.
Right. But I have to catch up on it. And I was told this today because if I don't watch the Spider-Man movies, it's not going to quite make sense because Spider-Man and him been hanging out recently.
Yeah. I mean, you have to at least watch the latest one. I mean, you don't really have to watch the first.
But I heard that the latest Spider-Man, like, in order to watch that, I really need to go. I haven't been watching these Tom Holland ones.
I've seen every piece of Marvel anything that has come out in this new universe.
Yes.
Every series, all of it. Only thing I haven't seen is the new Hawkeye series. But I watched Loki, had Owen Wilson in there. Had a lot of it's a girl that she's in Lovecraft Country, dark skinned girl, very voluptuous. I forgot her name, but I love her. But yeah, no, I've seen all that stuff.
Tom Holland out here, and I heard,
he getting it.
Yeah, well, I heard that Uncharted sort of tanked.
Is it out already?
See,
I mean, I didn't plan on going to see it. But
exactly.
Yeah, I didn't plan on going. But
yeah.
I already told you that shit. Like, I don't want to watch niggas be corny while they skydiving out of planes with no parachute and they in sword fights cracking jokes. I don't want to. I'm cool.
It's not the same. Like the video game, it's just not the same. Like, you can get away with that in the video game, but it's not cool when I'm watching Spider-Man do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that.
And it's like, I mean, he's corny in the Spider-Man movies too, but I'm not gonna not see those.
It's different. There's just times when that's okay. Like that's okay.
But yeah, I absolutely recommend that you go see the Batman, Yeah. I think it's, and I don't know, maybe I'm biased. Batman's my favorite superhero. So there's that. But
who's the villain? Can you tell us that? Or is the villain supposed to be someone secret?
No, it's not a secret.
Who's the villain?
I mean, there's multiple villains in this movie, but the main villain is the Riddler. And
how we talking?
It's way different than Jim Carrey's Riddler. Way different.
Okay.
Way darker. It's, not some flamboyant nigga in a jumpsuit with question marks on it with red hair and a cane. Like, this is way different.
It's kind of crazy when you think about what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
I want to see them bring back Mr. Freeze.
Oh yeah, for sure. Who is that? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah. Like, what? They just killed off that villain. He's never made an appearance since that one movie with the Riddler and Poison Ivy. Uma Thurman played Poison Ivy. Like, they need to bring out Mr. Freeze.
It's so funny when people don't know what they don't know. I had a friend once tell me that his favorite actor was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I was like,
"That's crazy."
I was like, "Bro,
that's crazy."
I'm like, "Yo, what movies have you seen?" But it turned out that he hadn't really seen a lot of American films, but I guess he had seen like Terminator and stuff like that. So he was like, "Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger's the best," and I'm just like,
"That's crazy."
Absolutely fucking not.
That's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, he got fame off being a bodybuilder. Then this nigga went into movies and then became the governor of California. Like, I'm sorry, no, the governor, or
he was governor.
Governor, okay,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's versatile.
Who let this nigga become the governor of California?
He's versatile. We don't know what he knows. We don't know how serious he takes it. And hold on a second. Donald Trump was the president of the United States.
You know what? Yeah.
Of America. He was the leader of the free world.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. We're not going to do that.
You're right. It's just weird. Like,
you can do whatever you want to do in this world, really.
Yeah. I mean, Ronald Reagan was I think he was an actor before he became president.
It was him?
I'm pretty sure he was an actor.
Yeah. I think I remember.
Then he became president, and then he flooded the black community with crack. Like,
also versatile.
Very versatile.
Nigga had a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Didn't he?
Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's talk about something.
Okay. Hey, look, man. I had to do something. This isn't a surprise. I've had a lot of shit going on in my job, but I had to do something the other day that just made me feel just really at odds. You know what I'm saying? Like on both sides of the spectrum.
Okay.
I had to evict my first tenant, and it didn't make me feel good.
Wait, how long have you had this job? Because that's kind of weird that it's like the first time you've had to evict someone.
Honestly, it's probably just because I'm nice. It's probably because I'm a nice person. I try to give people chances and opportunities to not be pieces of shit.
Oh, so you could have evicted someone.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I've been there about 7-8 months now.
Okay.
But yeah, the person I had to evict was Miss Anonymous. I've spoken about her plenty of times on here. I guess anybody that listens frequently should be well versed in
Miss Anonymous,
in who I'm talking about.
She's hilarious, but also carries a sad story that we don't know about.
Absolutely.
But she definitely moves in such a secretive, stealth-like, clandestine way that we know that the only reason you would ever move that way is if because you're running from something.
Yes.
Whether that's just your demons.
Yeah. You're scared of something.
You're scared of something.
Yeah.
Someone looking for you, or you don't know if there's someone looking for you, which is even scarier because if it's not someone specific, like
if somebody's looking for you and you don't know they're looking for you, that's
pretty like you're living a very particular sort of lifestyle. Yeah.
Very particular. But, so, I'm walking through the building, securing the building, you know what I'm saying? Just making sure everything good. And I come across this unit, with the door down, no tag on it, nothing. So I'm like, yo, that unit's not secure. I lift it up, right? She's inside the unit, laying down with a blue robe on, very comfortable, blue house robe. Got one of my carts inside the unit. She's got some thin ass mattress sitting on it, and she's just laying down. Look like she's about to take a nap. And so I lift it up, and I'm like, I literally said, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. Like, what is it going to take for you to understand that you cannot do this? Like, I've been so patient with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I let her know that because I've been very, very patient with her. Like, I have given you so many opportunities. You keep just doing things that I continuously ask you not to do. And it just, outside of even the whole eviction part of it, I'm just like, even if you're homeless, does that negate the fact that you have to hold yourself accountable?
I don't know if it's holding oneself accountable. Like, she knows that she's in the wrong. She knows that she's not supposed to be doing this. She knows that these are well outside of the terms of her lease. But first and foremost, that's first and foremost. Secondly, I think when you're homeless, when you're down and out, period, you're going to take what you can.
Accountability just goes out the window.
No, I'm going to be accountable of this shit that I'm about to do. Like yeah, I know I'm doing it
in the moment.
And guess what? I'm still fitting to do it because I'm homeless. Like, who do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know this ain't right, but I'm also homeless.
Yeah. And it's like, I get that. But it just, I don't know. I guess it just baffles me because I'm just like, I'm trying my best to allow you to be here. I really am. Mm-hmm. I really am.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of finding you in my stairwell.
Yeah.
Places you're not supposed to be. The stairwells are for emergency exits or for those that need to come down the steps and leave the building.
Right.
They're not for you to take a cart in there and sit down and sit on your cell phone all day. Because the thing is there's no cameras there. Mm-hmm. It's a hiding spot. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm tired of pulling you out of unit. Like, the unit she was in is not even her unit. Like, it's not even her unit. I just lifted a door up.
Because wait, hold on a second. I don't think that I understood this part of the story.
No, I didn't just, no. If it was her unit, regardless, she shouldn't be doing it. But it's just like, you doing shit you're not supposed to. This ain't even your unit at all. You just in a random place in the building trying to catch a nap, trying to catch some Z's.
But it's also just no one's unit. It's just an empty unit.
It's an available unit.
And she's just
in it.
With a whole mattress.
With a whole, like, it wasn't even like, it's not like what you would think. Like, it's a very like thin pad of sorts.
Right.
That you can just kind of lay on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so I hit up the people that I needed to hit up, and
that's still kind of wild because she had to, in order for her to get there, like she had to walk through the hallways with with all these things. And everything you saw her with, she had to walk through the hallways with that in her hand.
She also had to break the zip tie that was on that unit, take the tag off of it, lift the door, close it, and set up.
Damn, bro, man. I mean, listen, I don't know what that's like, but and as virtuous as I try, as virtuous as I try to live my life, and who I'd like to think I would be.
If you were homeless?
I still don't see myself like just continue because I wouldn't want to ruin the good thing that I do have there.
That's the thing though, right?
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you would want to be as inconspicuous as possible so you don't get thrown out of here.
Yeah.
So I talk to the people I need to talk to. I get the paperwork drawn up to evict her. She has 2 units in the building. And so I get the paperwork drawn up. And I ain't gonna lie to you, the day that I had to give her that paperwork, I paced around for about 10 minutes just thinking about how I wanted to approach it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had to evict nobody before. And I'm just truly a kind person at heart. And I've thought about the fact that this is going to put her in a situation in which she's going to have to figure out what her next steps are ASAP.
Yes.
And I literally paced around the building for like 10 minutes just thinking like, come on, Keion, you gotta do this shit. Like you have to kick this lady out.
Mm.
Now, obviously it's not immediate. She has 15 days to leave. So I go up to her. After pacing and I'm like, hey, these are for you. Mm. And she looks at me. She's like, what is this? Mm. And I was like, these are eviction notices for both your units. And she was like, why? I haven't done anything wrong. And God damn it. You gonna look me dead in my face and tell me that you haven't done anything wrong. And I was like, so I didn't just find you a couple days ago inside a unit laying down or taking a nap. She was like, I wasn't taking a nap. And I was like, you were in there lying.
So we playing semantics. So you wasn't taking a nap. Like,
and she was like, and I was like, you were in there lying down in a blue robe, sitting on a mat, lying on a mat. She's like, I wasn't lying down.
Oh man.
So we just gonna break it down piece by piece. Like you gonna,
I would. Tell me what you were doing when I saw you and you saw me the other day. So we can agree that we saw each other the other day. I would have had to start at the ground up. Do you agree that you and I saw each other the other day? Like, let's start there. If you say no to that, we have a very big problem.
Do we exist in the same universe?
Exactly.
Do I work here and do you rent here?
Right, exactly.
Let's start there.
When I saw you, what were you doing?
Right.
And do you think that was okay?
Pretty much.
Damn, man.
So she's like, I wasn't laying down. And at that point, I was like, okay. And I walked away because I wouldn't.
Yeah. It's like
what you want to do?
All right. Like, that's fine.
Like, what the hell? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So she immediately left the facility. The next day, which was yesterday, when, I happened to talk to you, I got off the phone with you because I had to talk to somebody at my job.
Yeah.
It pertained to her.
Yeah.
So I call my job. One of my assistants, hits me up and was like, hey, did you, kick out that particular tenant? And I was like, yeah, I gave her eviction notice. She has to so-and-so day to leave. And she was like, okay, cause she's in the office right now trying to reserve another unit. And that's when I had to get off the phone with you.
Yeah.
And call because I don't know what's wrong with this lady, but she has balls.
So what exactly does eviction mean aside from the fact that one has to vacate the premises within 15 days?
It means that
can they never
rent at that facility ever again.
Oh, damn.
She can go to another one if she wants to. She can go to another one if she wants to. But it's like, it's clearly she didn't take the eviction seriously. She tried to rent another unit. For what? I don't know. What do you have two already? What
do you think that she knows that though? Because again, we've already come to terms with the fact that, again, no pun intended, the biggest lie ever, or most frequently told lie ever is, yes, I have read all terms and conditions of this agreement. We know that people are not reading shit that they just click accept on.
Absolutely.
No matter what it is, an app that you're downloading on your phone, or it's the fucking lease at your your storage facility.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
She may not know that she can't do that.
Well, she know now. I didn't even have to get on the phone. My assistants, they handled it for me. I was on the phone. I called one of their cell phones. They answered and just put the phone down so I can hear what was going on. She was going back and forth with them for like 15 minutes, just lying out her ass. One of my assistants was like, yeah, Keion found you in the unit like the other day. She said out her mouth, that did not happen. And I just can't believe.
She said, no, he didn't. That lying ass nigga.
I just cannot believe that she said that shit. Maybe I can.
Wow, man. There are some specimens out here. Like that is funny. Like to think that that's really going to go over.
Right.
Like, oh, well, we're going to have a talk with Keion because I don't understand why he would be lying to us then.
Right.
Like, wow.
Like, I'm just going to evict you with nothing to back me up.
On no grounds.
Exactly. So I can just get fired. Like, wow. Are you serious? Come on.
Wow.
Come on.
That did not happen.
Yeah. She said that didn't happen. And I just could not believe that.
You guys have film of this?
No, it's not on film. It's not on film. But we document everything that goes on. Like anytime we have anything that goes on, we document it in their file. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So she says that did not happen. And she's like, I don't know what I did to him. I don't know what I did. I don't know why he's treating me this way. And man, and I'm just on the phone listening, and my assistant is like, this is not personal. You didn't do anything to Keion personally. You just violated the terms of your lease over and over and over again. And we are tired of it now. We are now evicting you because we've given you way too many opportunities. Way too many opportunities. And
it's just kind of sad, bro.
It is kind of sad.
It's just kind of sad.
Yeah, that's why I was pacing around for 10 minutes because I didn't really want to do it. But am I going to continue to let this person be a nuisance?
Yeah, no. I mean, at some point, shit's got to go down.
Yeah, like I can't come in here every day, find you in my stairwells sweating profusely, and it's like she just be in the hallways having all her shit all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do you remember the last time you told, and maybe you don't want to say anything, but I'm just going to look at you and I'll be able to know. The listeners don't have to know. Do you remember the last time you felt in every bit of your soul that you were in a position where you had to tell a bold-faced lie? Like you just had to do, like, I have to lie to this person's face right now. And I mean a complete lie.
Yeah, I think so. Oh. Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah. How did it make you feel? Like, did you care at all?
Cause like it's just not me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel good.
Like it's a wild place to be in. Yeah. It's a wild place.
Yeah, it's just like
I have to tell you a complete fabrication.
Yeah, it's like the guy that I was trying to get out the building like a couple of months ago was. I can't tell you that. Yeah, can't tell you my name.
Not telling you my name.
Yeah, it's just like
I am a fraud. Yeah, my whole life is fraudulent.
Yeah. Pretty much.
You will never know my true identity.
Pretty much.
Damn, that's so crazy, man. Like she said, not only did that not happen, but I don't know why Keion's treating me this way. I don't know what I did to him.
Yeah. Like, you didn't do anything to me personally. You're a nuisance. You keep breaking the rules. Like, there's consequences to your actions. And this isn't the first facility she's been kicked out of. We've looked through her notes. She's been kicked out of other spots.
Do you remember the last time you had to lie or you felt like you had to lie and a bit of the result, or maybe a large part of the result of your lie, was going to be someone else getting in trouble? Big trouble.
No.
Yeah, that's see. Now it's a little different.
Yeah, no,
right?
I don't. If I ever had to lie about something, it wasn't going to be at the expense of someone else.
Right. And see, these are two completely different types of lies now that we're talking about. She didn't give a damn about what may have happened to you or like nothing. She was
right. And
dang.
And the thing is like, my assistant was like, just telling her all the things she's done. Like, you keep getting all these units, you keep transferring units after 1 month so you can just pay that, get the free month of rent. You know what I'm saying? The first free month of rent. And then you want to switch to a new unit. You switch into all the units you're switching to are the same size. Like, what's different about this one? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's different? And she's like, well, and the thing is like, she never rents through us. She calls customer service and has them rent a unit for her. Mm. And she's all, well, the customer service, they let me rent the units, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, customer service is not in charge of this building. I am. I am. I have the say so. If I don't want to rent to you and I have the grounds to do that, I'm not going to rent to you. Relax.
Go ahead, Keion. Go ahead. Let them know who hold the keys. Let them know you're a key holder.
Shut up. Oh, nigga just.
Nigga got access.
But yeah, man, like it wasn't a good feeling, man. It really wasn't. Like, I don't want to have to do that, but I need people to cooperate. I need them to do the things they're supposed to do. It's funny. Like, when I opened up that unit and she was in there, she also told me that it wasn't that serious. And she was like, I'm going through a crisis right now. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. You gotta get the fuck out of here. You gotta get out of here.
Damn, I'm going through a crisis. Like, listen, you've been going through a crisis since I've ever known you. Yeah. And I'm certain for years and years before that. Yeah. I know you're going through a crisis. But
I've been allowing this shit for like the last 7 to 8 months. It's been nonstop. Damn. I've been really, really nice to this person.
Yeah.
Really nice to this person. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell her. Sayonara. Good luck out there.
Damn,
good luck.
Man.
Good luck. That's all I got for you. It is what it is. Like, I don't.
Man, these sort of moments, they just make me, I just feel for people because I have to try my best to put myself there and think about what it would take for me to do any of these things. And I can't see myself doing them, there's such a distance between where I am in that behavior that it's just sad. Mm-hmm. That it's just sad. Mm-hmm. Even if we as we laugh about the comedic points of this thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a tragedy.
It is.
And, we spoke on the last episode with Julia. I know this seems like a wild segue, but you'll see what I mean about unsolicited dick pictures. And
yeah, this is a wild segue.
But listen,
man, what makes a nigga want to do, like,
bro? I was on the phone with Dot.
All right,
right, and we're talking, and she's like,
"Hey, shout out to Dot. I don't know if you remember me or not, but shout out to you. What's up?"
She's like, oh my God, like, oh my God, and I'm just like, what is going on your side? Like, what is happening right now? She told me she was also about to eat like a tuna fish like sandwich in the car. So I'm just like, damn, is it like old tuna fish? Like, what's going on over there? And she was like, so and so, whom we both know,
y'all too, or
you know him as well. You know this person as well. I'll give you a letter off the air right now, and you'll just have to. All right, it's
okay.
All right,
I saw that.
Okay. Okay. All right. White guy.
If I'm thinking about someone, but I'm wondering how they know each other.
Oh yeah, this is from way back in the day. You're right. Like that would seem weird to you, but it is him.
Okay.
And yeah. But they knew each other through me way back in the day.
Okay.
So she's like, I got a snap from him. She was like, and he's wearing some loose sweats. You don't know where this is going. You got some loose sweats, and he's lounging in his couch in his living room, and he's just rubbing his junk around loose sweats.
Just over there bricked up.
Just yo. Yeah.
You ain't never heard that one before. That's a new one for you.
Have you ever heard that before?
I just heard it for the first time yesterday.
Bricked up?
Bricked up.
And this is on the count of a penis being hard.
Yeah. I'm gonna just tell you what happened, bro. It was just a real short clip that I came across on social media. So apparently some guy was like in a Walmart parking lot, just had his shit out and just yanking it. Cause he's seen some pretty girls, I guess.
Oh my God.
Yes. In the Walmart parking lot, yanking it up. Cause he's seen some pretty girls.
Yanking it up.
Yup, yanking it up. Cause he's seen some pretty girls.
Whoa.
And I guess one of the girls was bold enough. She just kind of stepped out there like, yo, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And so, he's walking away with his shirt over his head. And like, I couldn't really tell because they were kind of moving, but I guess, she could tell because she was there. But I guess his shit was hard. And she's like, yeah, look at you all bricked up and shit. And when I heard that shit yesterday, I was laughing just as much as you.
That is hilarious. Yeah, and to use it as an insult at that moment too. Look at you bricked up over there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Bricked up.
Either way, yeah, he was bricked up. He's bricked up underneath some loose sweats, just like rubbing his junk. And I'm thinking, like, one, I know this person. I think that's what would
that's what would bother me the most.
Right, because we can talk about this on an abstract level of why would someone do this? What headspace is someone in to feel like that's okay for someone that hasn't been giving them that sort of energy? That like, their correspondence ain't like that. Yeah. That ain't the vibes in their snaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for you to feel like this is the move right now, you're in a certain place mentally.
Yeah.
And since I know this person, now I'm like, fuck, this person's in this place mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone told me that they got a snap from Keion, bricked up at his house, rubbing his shit, you know what I mean, in some loose sweats,
you'd probably start to think, as long as you'd probably be surprised as shit because it was me.
1,000%. But you'd also, and I'd question.
Yeah, you'd start questioning.
I would definitely question. I'd be like, well, what did you say? Like, what did you say to him first? What's really going on? What's the relationship that y'all really have going on?
Yeah.
And not to say that wasn't a bit of my questioning here. I'm like, because I did ask that question. I'm like, well, what are the vibes? Mm-hmm. What have you said to this person in the past? Mm-hmm. Like, is there anything that you've ever done that would lead this person to believe that this is cool? Right? Like, have you guys ever shared anything like that?
Yeah.
And I think that there may have been some flame emojis sent to like a nice photo he had, but this was like a year ago. Like a long, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not quite, that ain't it.
That fell off the credit report.
That ain't it.
That's disqualified.
And even if it was yesterday,
right,
you still don't send yourself worked up the next day. Like that still does not qualify you, right? If we're talking about credit, that still don't qualify you for that. Like you can't buy that with that credit. That ain't it.
Right.
So I'm just like, damn, man. And this person's asking me, she's like, Earl, why? First of all, keep this in mind, because you and I have had this conversation. I don't know how many times in our relationship. I put it on everything. I'm living my life in the way I never want to be the person that people are having this type of conversation about behind my back. Like, I don't want to live that way.
Absolutely.
I don't want to live that way, bro.
Yeah.
Cause this person got no idea that there's a whole conversation being had about this. And then now it's on a podcast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, got no idea.
Didn't see that coming.
No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so that's crazy in and of itself. And so she's asking me, like, why? In your words, why do these niggas exist?
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? Past any comedic elements of it, like once we get past the shock and awe and the ha he, all that sort of shit, like let's think about this. Because at some point you got to get to that point. At least I do. Like I have to try to make some sort of sense of what the fuck is going on. Because again, there's distance. I'm not sending that to anyone.
No.
I
don't even care if it's on Snap and it's going to disappear in 24 hours.
Yeah, like it would. Yeah, like that have to be some wild circumstances, like for that to be the case. Like so, there's a distance, not a disconnect though, because I can try to figure it out. So a distance, but not a disconnect. Like let me try to figure this out.
Yeah, like what exactly do you think of a person that does something like that?
And this is what I came up with. One, desperate.
Okay, I can see that.
It's a Hail Mary.
It is.
That is a fourth and long, no pun intended. That's a fourth and long move, bro. Like those are all the cards on the table.
Yeah.
Like once you do that play, there's no going back.
No.
You can't take that back.
That is a 4th and 25.
That's the long ball. That's the long ball.
Fourth quarter, 2-minute warning.
Bruh.
Game on the line.
Right. And and that's not even the conditions of the game at play.
Exactly. Like this nigga was playing sudden death.
Like the thing is like, that was like, it's really first down, but you're just like you just threw it. It's like, bro, what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't even, this is practice. Like you guys, nothing is even happening. There's no game even being played right now.
Yeah.
You're just throwing the ball for no reason. Like
yeah. Like you're not even to the point where you feel like, I want to know what like when you do that, just what prompted it? Just nothing, something like, what are you getting? Like, what are you expecting? What are you expecting? You're not reading the room. You're not clearly not reading the room.
Okay. So this is where my mind went. I'm like, it's sad for me on this level too. This person has been known to attract women. A lot of them.
Oh, wow.
Throughout this person's years.
Yeah, so
a lot. Like I'm talking about like top tier. Like he's been known to be able to go out and like, if he wants, like he can turn it on and corral women.
Okay.
And the thing with that is, that's clearly on a superficial level. Mm-hmm. And so you're encountering women on a superficial level. You know the parlor tricks, right? To wrangle women. But you're clearly not engaging with women on a human to human level in understanding women and understanding human beings.
Right.
Right. I don't think that this person, as I know that this person is not really interested in other human beings, really. And I think that there is a tinge of intellectual elitism. Right, in this person. So now, if you didn't know this person, now you definitely,
I definitely now.
So he's not really interested in people that were like people's level of, cerebral activity do not really astonish or excite this person for the most part. And so when these types of people talk to other people, a lot of times they don't give a fuck about what it is the other person is saying. Right? They're there, they're trying to get whatever it is that they're trying to get out of the situation.
Right.
And so for years you're doing this on a superficial plane, right? With the opposite sex. And the reason I know this to my core is because if you could read the room, you would be able to read the room because you would have, throughout all the hours and hours and hours you spent speaking to women, you would have been able to glean the insight that would have allowed you to know that this is a bad idea.
This person is out of state as well, right?
Right.
So it's like he
could have been playing the long game. Could have been playing no pun intended. It could have been like, I'm coming, I may be coming. You never know when I'm hopping on a flight.
Hey, remember that picture I sent you like 6 months ago? Like, is that still cool now? I'm here now. I guess, man.
And I'm bricked up. Like, so what's up?
I'm only bricked up for you.
So, it's a little nasty. It's a little nasty. It's a little sad. I want better for people. I on all sides, and then you have this person that's like the receiver of this sort of content, and they don't even know how to say, yo, can you please not do this? They're like, yo, how do I
bro, the worst thing possible is sending a picture like that and just having the person that you sent it to just be like,
crazy, right?
Like, if I send you a picture of my shit, the response does not need to be,
bruh, there was no reply. And then the person followed up with like the shoulder shrug emoji.
Very desperate.
See what I'm saying? So in my mind, it's like, okay,
I guess you didn't like it.
But so there's some things going on or not going on in this person's life. And that has to be taken into account. Like this person is suffering. There is a deficiency of things going on, like love, and true affection and connection in a way that makes you feel like you don't have to.
Well, I mean, do you think
send your dick around?
Do you feel like, are you saying that based on the dick pics, or are you saying that because you know this person?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying it for a lot of those reasons. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about predictors of good health, and people with money not being stressed out as much about bills or health or whatever the case is. So you're not stressed as much. So it's at least a very huge predictor of good health.
Right.
And another one of those things are strong human connections. Like, that is one of those things. The mad research of all these extremely poor countries don't have much, but they have community. And there are, like, the suicide rates are abysmal. Everybody over here in America killing themselves. Everybody killing themselves. Over there, like, wherever it is we could think of, where it's just like no one. They come together, they eat food, they talk, they dance, they tell stories, and they in this together. And like, having strong human connections really truly does. We are social beings. Like, that's just what we are. Like we're built to communicate with one another and do things and play games and collaborate with one another. And that helps truly build health.
I don't want to live a life of solitude.
Nah, you don't. You really don't. And I think that when you start to, when you realize just how good social bonds are, you can kind of see when people don't have them. Mm-hmm. Like strong ones, good ones. Like they have like good friends around them.
Yeah.
That are helping build them up and support them, and they're getting things done together. It's like they're a real unit doing things, like moving forward together.
Right.
When you don't have that, you can kind of tell. You can talk to people. It doesn't take long to figure out.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Again, the types of conversations they're having and who they're around, the sort of energy they're around. It comes very apparent.
About 5-10 minutes of talking, you can tell a lot about a person.
Yeah, man. So that's just very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yikes.
So this is something new for me as a parent. Something new. So I spoke on here a couple weeks ago on the Brad Pod. Yeah, I'm gonna call it the Brad Pod.
The Brad Pod.
You got a pod named after you.
Hey, shout out to Brad. Thank you for those recommendations of the Malcolm Gladwell. It was him and my friend there was like 3 people within the span of 2 to 3 months. I just kept hearing Malcolm Gladwell's name, so I'm glad I got his books. But shout out to Brad though.
So I'm trying to like navigate this new plane as a parent. I spoke about my son going out for the track team.
Yep.
And so tryouts were this week.
Okay.
This kid went to one tryout and said it made him too tired. And
that's a hilarious conceptualization. It made me too tired.
And it's just like, I get he has diabetes, and I'm just like you went to the tryouts, and he was like, yeah, we had to run around the track a bunch of times. Then we had to do like this little relay thing, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I went home because I called him the day of the tryouts. Like, I want to see what happened.
Right.
He was like, I went home and I just went straight to sleep. And he was like, I just don't think, he was like, I'm not that active. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does stuff with his friends, but he's not like a super active kid. He's not out there like me and you were back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
He's not active like that. And he's like, his mom backed him on this. And I'm like, don't get me wrong. I'm backing him on it. I'm fine. I'm ultimately fine with it. I have to be. But he just said he was too, he was just exhausted. And I guess that just made him not want to do it. And I'm like, damn, Jacory, I'm like, you don't want to just go to all 3 days and then make a decision. I was like, you'll get used to it as you go along.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just give him some positivity, and he's like, I just think I want to train more and try again next year. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool, but I'm not going to act like I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, and also train more. Well, what does that mean? Like, what are we talking about? Train? It made me exhausted. Yeah, he probably just doesn't know what sports are. Yeah, he doesn't know what sports are. It's that's exactly what it is. That tired feeling. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. That's gonna happen again and again and again. Yeah, and I was so disappointed, but really just not trying to be really just super hard on him. Yeah. Joe, you're a fool. Because I didn't even catch it. You're a fool. Yes, no.
But just trying not to just be hard on him about it. But I was really disappointed.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to figure out how to navigate this. Cause it's I don't want him going through life just giving up on shit all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Especially after he got your hopes up when he told you that if he doesn't make it, he's going to try again next year.
Yeah.
You were like, oh damn, I got me a little soldier.
Yeah.
And then he came back and was like, yo, that shit hard.
Yeah. He went to one tryout and was like, nah.
Damn.
And I was like, come on, Jacory.
Made me too tired.
Come on.
Yeah. Again, I told you during that Brad Pod that I think that because he didn't have an idea of what sports were, what track was, that he was probably thinking, okay, like, I like to run around.
Yeah.
Like, I love running. Running's cool. It's great. Sometimes I scream while I do it.
On my own terms.
Yeah, on my own terms, exactly. But when you add structure, like, you need to do this, run this, come back, run it again, come back, run it again. Nope, your time isn't fast enough. Come over here, do this. Go run these relays. Go do these stretches.
Suicides now.
Yeah, then he's like, oh, nah. I thought we were just running around out here. Like, I thought.
Yeah, I just thought, a couple laps around the track.
Yeah, like he had no concept of what was. It's not like he watched. Anybody. Yeah. He doesn't know who Usain Bolt is. Like, he didn't watch anyone. Like, he doesn't watch the Olympics.
Yeah. And it's just like, I'm going to sound like an old ass nigga when I say this, but it's just like, I'm thinking about how, me, you, everybody was out hooping, playing, throwback tackle, all that stuff back in the day. And I just really started thinking like, man, these kids don't know shit about getting out here and being active.
Bro, it's just a different day. It's a different day and age. Things are just different.
Everything, dog. I was so disappointed, but I'm getting over it. I just really wanted that for him. I really wanted that for him.
Mm. Yeah. So at some point, like, if you start to see a trend, then you'll have to be like, hey, man, listen, we not, now hold on.
We ain't gonna just keep starting things.
Like everything that just make us tired, we can't just stop. Like, you gotta press forward sometimes.
Yeah. But, it's all good. He's still a good kid. I still love him to death. He knows that.
Yeah. And that does have to happen because I think that there's so many things in life. A lot of the great things in life, probably. Like exercising. If you don't know what it is, and this is a lot of getting people to do things, like, things sort of have to be seamlessly woven into the tapestry of one's life as they get older. And so healthy foods are like that. If I just feed you honey buns and Coca-Cola up until the point where you 13, 14 years old, and then I'm like, I think you need to start eating some broccoli and celery. What the fuck are you talking about?
Nigga, broccoli?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Like, could you imagine what that would taste like if you just had trash food? Like, you'd be like, I'm never eating.
There's no sweetness. There's no sugar in it.
I'll never eat it. Ever. No, Mom. Never. Right? So this is a trend. This is a habit you've built.
Yeah.
Exercise. I talk to people about trying to break out of certain ways of thinking, like my dad talked about with busting loose from the money game, the little fragile eggs that we have, or little fragile belief systems, the narratives that we tell ourselves and how those need to be torn to shreds so we can start anew. I have these conversations with people every now and again because it's always interesting what people feel like they can't leave behind or what they feel like is impossible for them to just walk away from and start anew on. I like finding those things in people. It's interesting. Some people feel like, they can't walk away from maybe like a substance. Some people feel like it's family members that they can't walk away from, even if family members treat them like complete dog shit and don't do anything to support them. It's like, but it's family. Okay, that's fine. Right? So it's like, it's interesting pointing that out in people's lives. But something that I always use as sort of an analogy is there are so many things in life like the gym where if someone never worked out in their life and they just decided they were going to peak in the gym and they just saw tons of people running around, running fast, pushing a bunch of heavy ass weight, whipping ropes around, climbing ropes, pulling cables, panting, sweating, face red, people doubled over. Just that sort of energy. You'd be like, why would I want to be a part of this? It makes no sense. Like, that doesn't look palatable. It doesn't look alluring to me. That doesn't look cool.
Right.
Like, I can go sit down.
Yeah.
I can go sit down somewhere and Netflix is a thing. Like, I can
not exhaust my energy.
Right. I can go do that. And so I think, to some degree, Jacory was looking at it, was like, I like to run around, but he didn't see all that sort of stuff. But anyway, unless you know what it's like to do that thing, to be that person, it looks wild from the outside, but all those people feel amazing inside.
Yeah.
And you have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea that over there, it feels great. It may not necessarily look it, but it feels amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think that's a whole lot of the reason why people just don't kind of do things.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you don't know.
Absolutely.
So you're just like, well, yeah, there's no reason for me to go over there. Like, I don't know. How good can it really feel? You kind of feel like there's I don't know, like some sort of lying, some sort of deceit going on. Like people are just making it up. Like how good can it really feel?
Yeah.
Like honestly, I've been pretty drunk. I've done some cocaine. Like how good can that feel? You know what I mean?
Honestly, I'm not consistent with the gym at all. But leaving the gym after a workout is a great feeling. Like every time you walk out of there, you just feel so accomplished. So accomplished.
Now I sort of spoke on the advantages, that we had growing up. And it's because we grew up in an age where, we didn't have a bunch of technology at home. Not really. Again, we were still part of the people going up and knocking on doors, remembering people's phone numbers, all this sort of stuff.
Bro, I had a PlayStation, but I wasn't even like back in the day.
You weren't pressed though.
No. Well, no, the thing is my parents raised me in a way that I wouldn't be pressed. I was not allowed to play video games during the week.
Oh, right.
I could only play video games. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think I had that too. I don't know if it was as strict as just during the week. But there were definitely restrictions around it for certain. Like I couldn't just power it up whenever I felt like.
Yeah,
that wasn't happening.
I could only play video games on the weekend.
Yeah,
and I don't know that it would have. If I could play video games during the week, I don't know that it would have just kept me inside, just in the room playing Madden all day long.
Yeah.
I would have probably still went outside because that's what my friends do.
Yeah.
But I was raised in a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this book that Malcolm Gladwell wrote is, so the first one I'm reading right now is called Outliers. Okay.
And an Outliers, it's kind of just what it sounds like. It's just someone or something that is on the outskirts, on the outside of everything else, meaning you're exemplary in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Right? You could be, an outlier in a terrible way. Like you could be fucking Genghis Khan who killed like 60 million people, or like a Ted Bundy. He's an outlier in a sense. Or you could be like a LeBron James or a Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, right? But just people that just seem to just do things differently. And people have always been trying to tap into why. Like, what made this person this person? And we have this overinflated sense of things just being talent and plus hard work. And it's not to say he's such an observer. And I love people like him because he's a keen observer of the world around us. So I love reading his insights on things. But it's like, not to say we can't discount those things. Like they matter. But why are they in a position to that they have talent? Why are they in a position to have the time to practice this thing and put in the hard work? Right. So it's like all these different factors slowly start to come in, and it just elucidates what really makes successful people in these outliers in our world. And, where we grow up and when we grow up means so much. And we don't think about all the advantages that we have in our life. But I'd like to take a second to get into this a little bit.
Okay.
Very first thing he does is he opens up the book with Canadian hockey.
Okay.
And how there is a cutoff, which is January 1st for age class for any league. Meaning when you're young, you're 9, 10 years old. If you turn 10, January 2nd or February, March, that's going to mean something astronomical.
Okay.
Most of the people that play hockey, we can look up these statistics. There's a very large percentage of them that are born between the months of January and March.
Really?
It trickles down to like April and May. But it gets further and further down the year, the calendar year, it gets less and less. Okay. Why would that be the case?
Yes.
It's got nothing to fucking do with astrology.
Okay.
If you're 10 years old at the beginning of the year or closer to the beginning of the year, at that age, you are bigger normally, stronger, faster, probably smarter to some degree than someone born in September, October, November, December. You've been on this planet for maybe a full 12, 11 months, 10 months, 9 months more than some of the people that you're playing with. Mm-hmm. And at that age, that's huge. Mm-hmm. So then these people that are picking these little stars, they believe that they found a star. Like, I found someone that's really like exemplary at this game. Mm-hmm. Really, you just found someone that's older than the rest of the 9-year-olds that they're playing against. Mm-hmm. And then once that happens, there's this thing that I think it was like a sociologist coined, but it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, meaning you start off with something false. In this case, it would be, this kid is a star. Mm-hmm. They're maybe just slightly better, but they're also a bit older than the other ones. So it's a false statement to say they're a star. So you start off with a false idea. This person's a star. Then you allocate all the resources to this thing or person, and then it makes the thing that you said false come true. And then you tell yourself later on, I always told you he was a star. You found someone that was bigger and older than the rest of the kids that they're playing with, and you allocated your resources to them. You gave them special attention. And because you gave that to them, they are now able to play more than the other ones, meaning they're getting more hours and more gameplay and more experience.
Gotcha.
So then they slowly start to drift away from the pack and become much, much better at whatever it is we're talking about.
Right.
And so that's how a lot of these people become outliers. That's why there's so many people in the game of hockey that have birth dates between January, March,
That's
April.
crazy.
It is. And it also happens in school systems. You go to school.
That's when you started talking about that. That's exactly what I thought of.
So you go to school. I'm in the class. You may have been in the class with someone that was like kind of older than you. Like they seemed like they were maybe a bit more mature than you or something like that. They're older. Mm-hmm. They may be taller, bigger, whatever the case is. And they've also had however many more months on this planet than you have. It could be 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. More time on this planet at a young age. That means a lot. Mm-hmm. You're absorbing information at such a rate. So now this kid, we found ourselves this is a talented kid. Mm-hmm. This is a gifted kid. Let's put him in the gifted and talented. Let's put him in a gifted and talented program.
GT.
So now this kid is in a gifted and talented program. They're in a position where they're gaining more experience, more knowledge, allocated resources for. Right. And then they slowly start to leave the pack. Mm-hmm. Told you that kid was gifted. I knew he was talented. Mm-hmm. You made him that. Not to say that there wasn't talent or something to begin with, but you gave him that. So in a sense, we're leaving people behind. And what he sort of recommends is maybe we just start breaking things down into 3, 4, like you start putting people that are closer in age in their own sort of classes together and things like that. Like that might probably mitigate a lot of this separatism.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found that to be extremely interesting. And he just continues to go down the list of all these other reasons that we don't think about people being successful. Like a Bill Joy, who was a Silicon Valley tycoon, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs,
Elon.
I think Elon as well. All these people were born between 1953 and 1957, and a lot of people like them too. Now that matters.
Okay.
It was a good time to be born and be interested in computers.
Yeah.
I think 17 out of the top 75 wealthiest people that have ever lived, 17 of them are from the United States of America. Mm-hmm. And we're all born in a single generation.
Oh.
Why was that the case? The Andrew Carnegies, the Rockefellers, the JP Morgans. Why? Like, what was going on? That was when the economy shifted. Mm-hmm. Steel, oil, motors, engines, like things shifted in the economy and never turned back. That's when America became America. Mm-hmm. And people were the right age. If you were born 10 years before that, you would have missed it. If you were born 10 years after that, you would have missed it. These people were born at the right time.
Right
to
place,
be
right time.
right place, right time. And keep in mind, that's not to say that there wasn't business savvy and there wasn't, a visionary mind that they had. Like, they had to put that in place and seize the moment, but they were born at the right place, right time. Steve Jobs and all of them, I put those dates there for a reason, when they were born, their birth dates, because they were all placed in these positions where people didn't have computers on mass scale back then.
Right.
If you had computers, that you were in a very wealthy place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just happened to be in these places where there was like a computer around at a college campus or something like that. And they were interested. And then they would get into some program that would allow them to sit around and do coding or networking and all this sort of stuff for hours and hours on end. And they would just sit there and do that. And then they get an internship that paid them to sit around and do that. And they would just get their 10,000 hours. This is exactly where Brad was talking about the Beatles. The Beatles, there were no rock and roll lounges back then. So they ended up playing at a strip club.
Wow.
And this strip club had so many different types of people coming to see people strip. They had to learn so many different types of songs. And they had to play like 5, 6, 7 nights out the week.
Damn.
5 to 8 hours a night.
Damn.
And they did that for like 2 years. They played like 270 of them nights. They were on stage over 1,200 times before they ever became the Beatles.
That's crazy.
People that perform big time that we know of today don't have 1,200 shows their entire career.
Right.
They did that before they became the Beatles. So when people were trying to figure out why does this band sound like something else?
Yeah.
Why are they so damn good?
They've been in sync for a long time.
They've just been sitting there playing music in a basement 6 days out the week, 8 hours every day. That's why.
Right.
That's why. And so it's interesting looking at these people placed in these positions, and you just start to think about advantages differently. You just think about advantages differently. What else did they talk about? They talked about I think it was Scott Irish's coming over to America, I believe, in the late 1850s or so. 1800s for sure. And how they had Jewish people came over in the that were coming over to New York in the late 1800s. They had certain skill sets. They were tradesmen, tradespeople. They were weavers. They worked with fabrics. There were people that, and this sort of thing just always blows my mind. I love it. There were people that can touch a piece of fabric and tell you the thread count on it and tell you where the material came from.
Damn.
That's crazy.
That is. You have to have been working with thread for a very long time.
Yes. And all these people came and occupied a lot of New York, and they bought sewing machines and they started sewing things together all day long, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sewing, out on the streets, selling. And it's because they spent so much time doing this where they were before, and it wasn't like that in New York. They didn't have these fabrics like this, like being peddled like this.
Yeah.
And then they came here and there was opportunity, and they fucking hit the jackpot on this opportunity. And the next generation, they're also master tradesmen, tradespeople, whatever, probably people working a loom or a sewing machine, doing this fabric.
Pass those skills down.
And then the next generation, doctors and lawyers.
How did we jump to that?
Because of an accumulative advantage. Through time, there's an accumulation of advantages that allow the next person to do something.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly. That gives further opportunities.
Right.
Right. Like a huge predictor in kids is if you speak to your kids and you try to instill in them something that people give a false or a negative connotation, which is some sort of entitlement. They need to feel entitled to their autonomy, that they can walk this earth and feel comfortable as if they deserve to be here as much as anyone else, and that they can engage with other people and most importantly, engage with adults in an inquisitive way. If they feel like someone's wrong on something, like pointing it out or asking them questions if they don't understand something, like that is extremely important. And and they need to be able to challenge you in conversation and start to think for themselves. Like that's a huge predictor of success later on.
Okay.
Like there's so many of these advantages that people have in their lives and they never think about them at all. I was thinking about the fact that I've worked on average 3 days out of the week for the past 8-9 years of my life.
That's love.
Do you know how much time I had for myself doing that?
A lot.
That sort of time to sit around and think about things and ponder things and do all this self-care and work and existential excavation and all this sort of shit. And so to some degree, you start to peel back the layers and think back and you're like, is Earl because he's Earl, or is Earl because of everything that has ever happened that has put him in this position? It's like you just go back and you think of everything. You were talking about running around outside, just us being us. I was a part of a camp, which we talked about with my dad, that he didn't want me to go to, but my aunt sent me anyway.
Yeah.
I think that camp was invaluable. Going to a camp, knowing that I was going to have to fend for myself, meaning I don't have mom and dad to come and cry to about anything.
Right.
I just had to be amongst peers and figure out social situations and learn how to interact with other people my age and figure out what's acceptable, what's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And you gain this practical intelligence about what's applicable in everyday life. Like that is a certain type of intelligence that a lot of people miss out on.
Right.
And so like that's a huge advantage. Like there are all these different things that had to come into place. The Great Depression was a huge one for a lot of people. The Great Depression did the same thing in some ways that the quarantine did for us. A lot of people came out of the Great Depression, like people came out of quarantine, head fucked up, finances fucked up, families fucked up, all sorts of stuff. A lot of people came out of the Depression as well as the quarantine. New business started, new artistic, creative endeavor started. New insight on who they are and who they're trying to be and how they're fitting to navigate this world. Like like these types of things are extremely imperative and have to be taken into account.
Do you think post pandemic we're maybe going into like a new renaissance of sorts?
It's hard to tell. A new renaissance.
Yeah, just the creativity is just out there. New things popping off, things we've never seen before. You think anything like that'll come?
A new renaissance. I guess you could say that in some way because all these things I'm talking about, they're always happening. That's the thing. Is that it's not just the technological boom for Bill Joy and Bill Gates and Elon Musk. It's like all these things are constantly happening all the time. It's just, are we noticing them or are we getting in on them?
Are the stars aligning?
Like, are we getting in on, like some people feel this way about cryptocurrency right now. They're like, shit, like y'all still sleeping on crypto? Like we gonna look back in 20 years and we gonna see. Right. So there's a lot of things like that. I mean, podcasting is like that to some degree. It was like a new phenomenon. It was like, when did you get in? How did you do it?
Yeah.
Did you quit early? Like, oh damn, like who knows if you would have continued that for another few years, you could have.
No,
that's what I'm saying. So so there's a visionary aspect of it. There's an expertise to it. There's a willingness to put in effort and have, reciprocal result come out. There's a lot of things that go into this, but you do have to be able to spot the advantages in order to take advantage of them.
I'm thinking about this podcast now, and I'm thinking about the whole 10,000 hours concept. We are nowhere near that.
No, absolutely not.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Wow. We are nowhere near that.
No. Although I would like to ask, how often do you find yourself, because I know the answer for me, do you find yourself having engaging encounters with other human beings for long stints, like long periods of time? Let's just say 30 minutes or more.
To be quite honest, it doesn't come around quite as often.
Okay. Because that is practice.
Yeah. There's only a few people that I, outside of you that I have like real conversations with.
Yeah.
Because, as you would say, just a lot of talking happening. A lot of talking going on
people
these days.
saying a lot of words.
Yeah, a lot of words, coming out of mouths. But not a lot of real things coming out of people's mouths, though.
Yeah.
And yeah, so no, I don't have a ton of conversation that's, like the conversations that we have or the conversations that I have with Antoinette. It's not a lot of that out there. Not, you know what I'm saying? And, you said before that you tend to just, you don't really have these types of conversations with a lot of people. Just, maybe a lot of people just aren't ready for that. Maybe a lot of people, you just don't feel like it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? But,
I've definitely, some people just don't want to do that.
They just don't want to do it.
Right. Some people don't want to do
that in them.
Some people don't want, it depends. It manifests itself in so many different ways. Some people are afraid of being any sort of vulnerable. Some people do want that. And they, again, as we've talked about before, they just want to be shown that like you're going to actually listen and be there. And I find that that's really more so what it is.
Right.
I think that when I have conversations with people, I think that when I have conversations with people, there is something disarming about my approach to them. I have ceased to have conversations with the objective being, at the end of this, I want you to think what I think. And I think that that's huge.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the time, those are people's
people
objectives.
are just trying to get you to agree with them, like make you understand what I'm saying.
Confirm my bias.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is I'm thinking about. And for whatever reasons I think about that thing, say yes to it.
Did you not just hear what I said? You're giving me pushback. Like we're not coming to an agreement here. Not all conversations come to an agreement.
No, you said something interesting recently, which is that you felt like you're getting better at listening.
Yeah.
You said that recently.
Yeah.
And I damn sure know that I am. And there is something beautiful about egoless listening. Like just breathing, posturing yourself in the best possible way to make sure that you're going to take in and absorb whatever it is someone's saying. You're focused, and there's nothing that you're going to say that's going to chip away at my ego or make me upset or you make me feel lesser than. Like I'm just taking in whatever's coming in from that side. Like it's just like like my ego is not in the race at all. Like it doesn't need to be, and that's the best way to absorb information. And I'll tell you about that. I heard Malcolm Gladwell having a conversation. And funny enough, it was with Joe Rogan. And what's interesting to me about it is people don't ask Joe Rogan questions a lot.
Really? Why is that?
Right? Like he's about to be at like 2,000 episodes, but they don't really ask him a lot of questions. And I was trying to get down to that with another friend.
Is it because he is the person conducting the interview?
So that's a way of looking at it, right? Is one, we're thinking interview. Right. So maybe someone thinks that like that's the format, like that's what it's supposed to be. Like this is new. Whatever it is that's going on in this format of conversation is new to them, and they still have their mind stuck in the box of interview, because that's mostly what they've seen on TV growing up. Like, you ask the questions, I'm going to answer the questions to the best of my abilities, and we're going to keep it moving. When you go into interviews, now again, this could easily be a me thing, so we're going to get into this. When you go into interviews, are you just answering the questions that the person is asking you?
Hell no. I go into interviews. I try to be, as charismatic as possible. You know what I'm saying? I want them to see my personality. I don't want to just be some guy sitting across the table from you, just telling you what I think my best attributes are.
Yeah.
Like, I want to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what an interview should be. If you get interviewed by someone that just wants to ask you 15 questions off of a sheet of paper, it's probably not a good job. It's probably not somewhere you want to work.
Yeah, right. Because as far as I'm concerned, like, I'm also interviewing you. Like, I'm also trying to make sure that I want to work there.
Show me that this is a place that I want to work.
Right. So we're going to interchange ideas here. We're going to talk. We're going to figure things out. But it's going to be a firm collaborative effort here between us. And I think that, again, it goes to these stories that we tell ourselves about people and things that, like, are kind of inappropriate, things you shouldn't be doing or should be doing. But I just people are just people. So when I go out to a restaurant, it's not I'm the guest and you're the server, you're the waiter, you're the host. You're you. You're whoever your name tag says that you are today. And I'm going to talk to that person.
Yeah.
Like, so if wherever I'm at, I'm talking to the person.
Right.
I'm not talking to whatever the fuck your title is or whatever. Like, I'm talking to you.
I never call, like, servers or waitresses or waiters by their name.
Oh, yeah. Every time I go, hey, I'm Earl. What's your name?
Yeah.
What's your name? And we start talking.
I get it.
Trust me, it makes the experience 10 times better.
Yeah.
Because you also want to, listen, you want your food to come out correctly. You want them to like you. Because they like me. Because that means that your service is going to be much better. You want them to like you. You really, really do. People will go above and beyond for you in customer service if they like you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So even if it wasn't just out of sheer genuineness and altruism and you just wanted to get the best from the experience, like it was just selfish, you would still behave in the best way.
Yeah.
Right? Either way, you would still behave that way because it would garner the best result for you.
Yeah. You want to serve me at a restaurant. I am a great tipper and I am a really enjoyable person.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a pleasant person.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
So again, I'm having conversations with real people in real time. And I was listening to Malcolm Gladwell talk to him, and I loved the way this guy was interacting with him. There's something, and this is going to sound so simple, there's something so undeniably attractive and novel about someone that asks other people questions about their experience on this planet.
Okay.
It sounds simple. It's not happening.
Yeah, not everybody's experiences are the same either.
Well, yeah. So my thing is, sometimes you need certain words, right? Because words are symbols. You put them together, make sentences, and then you put them together with some more, and then they're like concepts, and they help you wrap your mind around certain ideas. And so, I've come on here and done this plenty of times. This is the way that I kind of look at things. We're born, and from age 1 day to, I don't know, roughly 9-10 years old, we're extremely curious beings.
Yeah.
Like, we just want to know. We want to know. We want to see. We want to touch. We want to smell. We want to taste. It's so exciting.
Yeah, and there's no fear.
Right. And you would say why? Because maybe it's the first time?
Yeah, a lot of things are going to be the first time in your first 10.
Okay. Stick with me on this idea. It's the first time. So you're excited about it. Imagine if you were able to unlock some bit of your consciousness, some bit of your awareness with this next idea being the key to it. Everything that's happening, every moment of every day is the first and only time it will ever happen. Every single time another second goes by while we're all here, it's the very first time this has happened and will ever happen.
Is that because like every second is a new second that's never been experienced before?
Yes.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
You've never been here doing this right now. I've never been here doing this right now.
I've never done a pod. This is my first time ever doing a podcast on March 11th, 2022.
At this time, this moment that we're having right now it has never been experienced by any other human being that has ever existed, or that will ever exist, or by us ever again.
Yeah.
It is a new thing.
Yeah.
Every moment is that. People just forget that.
Yeah.
You forget because we have this thing called memory. So you're matching all of these moments that you're going through with all of these past moments that you have. So you tell yourself things like, oh, it's just another day. Another day, another dollar. Oh, just trucking along, just keep my head above water. Like, you think that this is the same thing and you're taking life for granted. None of this shit has to happen. There's a war going on right now. Things can change very, very quickly.
Absolutely.
We live underneath this very, very thin veil of security, like life is really sweet. It's not. Every single moment is its own unique moment that has never happened or never will ever happen again. Every single time. Every word we say, every motion, every bit of consciousness, every second we are aware that the lights are turned on in our minds is the very first time this ever happened. But we forget about it. And so people aren't excited. Like, I'm excited about life for that reason.
Well, you said recently, now this isn't verbatim, but you said recently how you kind of just live like within the minute.
Yeah.
Like every minute is just a new minute.
Yeah, 1000%. Like something's happening now. And then, just think about this conversation we've been at, like all the different things that we've talked about. Like, those things are over now. We're talking about this now.
Yeah.
It seems like that was so long ago. Like, that just took place.
Yeah.
Like, we just talked about you evicting a lady, but we're not talking about that anymore.
Right.
It's like we're all locked into a completely different moment.
Okay.
Like, this is what's happening right now.
And what's weird is, like, I feel like I've thought about this before. You know what I'm saying? This is not the first time that what you're saying has crossed my mind. But it's not something I think about every day.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's almost like life, not my life, but life can be so generic for some people.
Well, and that's the case. Like, there are these moments of clarity where human beings tap into that. For a lot of people, it's when you're looking at something grand. It could be you're out in the country and you're looking up at the sky at night and you can barely see black. It's nothing but stars, purples, blues, indigos, violets, all that sort of stuff, and just bright lights in the sky. And you just feel connected. Or you could be at the top of a mountain overlooking miles and miles and you just feel rooted. You feel connected. You could be looking at your
That's how I feel at the beach.
It could be you at the beach, feet in the sand, or you in the water, and you just hear the waves and the wind. And like, that does it for you. It could be you looking at your newborn baby. It could be all different sorts of things that make you feel connected. It could be you in the zone playing basketball, or you DJing, or whatever it is. It's when you lock in to the moment in a way that you don't normally, like in the default mode, you don't do that in your life. You're just going through the motions. But there are times when we lock in to what's going on And that's all that matters. That's it.
Yeah.
And this is moment of clarity, like, wow, like this is a great feeling. That is you realizing that the moment that you're having is that moment in and of itself. It's not attached to anything else. It's just that moment that you're enjoying.
Okay.
Because you're so immersed in it. You don't know where that moment ends and where you begin. Like you are a part of that moment. You are that moment, and that moment is you.
Yeah.
That's it.
I've definitely felt that before.
But
absolutely.
But life is that though. So people do not train their minds to think about these things or try to carve out practices in their day that would help them get closer to having more and more of those moments.
Life is literally the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Literally the bigger picture. But, most folks choose to live it just day by day.
Yeah. Like looking up at the stars could be the exact same thing as me just looking at this painting or just looking at you having this conversation. It's the same exact thing. You don't actually need to see a unicorn fly through the sky with a white knight on its back and a rainbow in the background like that. Like you don't have to have all of those things happen for you to tap into the moment in a real transcendent sort of way.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really have to happen. But, I'm excited. I saw Malcolm Gladwell and he's asking questions and he's excited. And it really does mind boggle me that people are not interested in other human beings. Like that people feel like other people are boring or like not worth their time. Like just again, let's just keep all this in mind. You're over there right now. I have no fucking idea what it's like to be over there. Like I know how deep of a human I am. Like I know the complexities to a large degree of what I have going on this side where I occupy consciousness in this world. But you're sitting over there. I don't know what it's like to be over there, but no one in this world does. And no one ever will. Again, you're the only Keion Harris ever. Like you're the only you
right.
that has ever walked this planet.
Right.
So you're the only one that knows what it's like to truly be you. And the only way that I can try my best to tap into that is if I try to ask you the most dynamic questions I possibly can and set my ego to the side and listen to you speak. That's the only way I'm going to figure out what it's like to be over there.
Not enough questions being asked.
People don't, it's fascinating to me that people do not care about what other people have to say. It's so weird to me. Like, it's so weird. I find people today I love listening to people. I find it to be so enjoyable to listen to other people speak about what is going on over there.
Yeah.
Like how they're experiencing things. Like what are the advantages that they've had? What do they feel like the disadvantages have been? What are the disadvantages that are actually advantages? Those times in the story, in the book where a tragedy takes place, but it's not until you flip the next page or it's to the next chapter or two chapters on where that tragedy comes back in a meaningful way and then rises the protagonist in some profound way. What is your story?
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, I've seen that story like 1,000 times.
It's our lives.
Yeah.
Like we're like, there's so many times where there's constantly like something going on and it sucks in the moment, maybe if that's the way you're interacting with it. And then you realize later on, like, ooh, I'm really glad that thing happened.
Yep.
Because if that didn't happen and sucked for those few moments, like I would have never met so-and-so that became whomever in my life. Or I would have never gotten this opportunity that came and allowed me to do this, that, and the third. It's so interesting, but oh my God, I love listening to people speak and I love asking people questions. I love listening to people speak.
Yeah. I mean, you're literally just not tapping into the pieces of knowledge that are out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know the experience of any other human being ever.
No. No.
Why not tap into that?
You are more what you don't know than what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's very easy idea to be able to understand.
Yeah.
You know much less than what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like that like we shouldn't have to think too hard about that.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, why wouldn't you want to shut your mouth sometimes and just sit back and listen?
Yeah.
I swear people probably think, and people that listen probably, if they're around me in person, probably know, I come and I talk on this podcast, right? And I ask people questions, and sometimes I go on these rants, these tirades or whatever, because I'm interested and I'm engaged in what's going on. But catch me out just around people. My mouth is closed. I'm just listening. I mean, I may ask some questions, and again, I'll get in on conversations if people are trying to, evoke answers from me. But I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm listening to people. 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, man. So, this goes hand in hand with clearly count your blessings. I would like for everybody yet again to think about all the things that came together to make your life what it is. And just as deeply as you possibly can, because I'm certain there's some things that you are not taking into account. I'm certain of it.
Absolutely.
Certain of it.
I'm literally sitting here just thinking about just things that have, I've been through in my past that have set me up for, for the future. Like just certain places I've been, certain things that I've done, things that have gone right, things that have gone wrong. And I'm still here, persevering.
We got anything
Not
left?
perfect,
No.
but making it happen,
Yeah.
making it happen.
We got anything left for the people? What time is it? Oh yeah, we said we was just gonna go ahead and do a quick one. I have to be honest with you. Look, we had like an hour 30. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was thinking about giving them a quick 55 minutes because we don't came in late. But yeah, we got to it, and I like this one a lot.
Special nighttime pod.
Yeah, this was a good one though. I did enjoy this. You have some last words for the people?
Man. Hey, shout out to a special Florida listener. I see you, big dog. I see you.
All right.
That's my last words.
No, I got you. Let's see. What are my last words for the people? Definitely love you guys. I'll say this. There was a couple of people have been asking me how I've been lately, and I've had to think about it. Because I don't like just giving whatever answers. I think about what it is I'm about to say. And I gave this answer, and as I was giving the answer, it like really clicked in my head. But there was a time in my life where if you had told me that my life would be as awesome and as meaningful as it is right now, one, I don't think that I would have been able, I wouldn't have believed you first. And I think largely in part because I don't think that I would have been able to comprehend what you were talking about. Like my experience that I'm having, it's hard to conceptualize. It's even hard. It's like, because I'm coming in terms with it every day. It's like weird that it's even an option that I can live in the state that I'm in, to be honest with you. So I could have never comprehended this years ago. I could have never comprehended it. And I'll even further say, I have no idea what my life is going to be like a year from now, 2 years from now. Like I have no idea. I don't think I can, just like I couldn't fathom it then. I don't think I'm capable of conceptualizing it today. I don't think I'll understand what that's like. but I think it's gonna be fucking awesome. Those are my last words.
Peace.
Peace. So went away. Woo.